Good morning, gentlemen. Let me ask you something personal. When you sit down for breakfast, do you ever wonder if that simple bowl of cereal or that harmless slice of toast might actually be draining your energy, stealing your confidence, and quietly sabotaging your performance where it matters most? It sounds extreme, right? But I promise you, it's not age that's betraying you. It's your breakfast. Millions of men over 60 are stuck in a frustrating cycle of weak circulation, heavy legs, and fading stamina. But here's the truth that nobody's told you. Your morning meal could either be your downfall or your greatest ally. We've been conditioned to accept certain things as normal aging. Cold hands and feet? Normal. Tingling or numbness down there? Normal. That frustrating loss of manhood confidence? Just part of getting older, right?
Wrong.
The real villain is a silent decline in a molecule called nitric oxide, NO, the unsung hero of blood flow. Without enough NO, your blood vessels lose their ability to expand, cutting off the circulation that fuels your energy, stamina, and intimate strength. And guess when your nitric oxide levels are at their lowest? First thing in the morning. While you're pouring cereal into a bowl, your body is crying out for the very nutrients that will wake up your circulation. Now, here's the good news. You don't need a prescription. You don't need risky treatments. You need your kitchen. Over the last 20 years, I've worked with thousands of men who believed their intimate health was gone for good. What they discovered, what I'm about to share with you, is that the right 5 breakfast foods can jumpstart blood flow, rebuild confidence, and bring back the vitality you thought was lost. 1. Greek yogurt and berries, the gut's secret to restoring your circulation. If there's one thing I've learned in my decades of working with men's health, it's that most people underestimate the power of the gut. We tend to think of it as nothing more than a digestion machine, something that churns through whatever we throw at it. But I'll tell you something that might just change the way you look at your breakfast plate. Your gut is the command center for your circulation. You see, your blood vessels don't just respond to what's happening in your arteries. They respond to signals that originate deep within your gut, where trillions of microscopic organisms, good and bad, are constantly communicating with your immune system, your metabolism, and yes, even your vascular health. When your gut is inflamed, when it's overwhelmed by processed foods and sugars, it becomes a battleground. That inflammation doesn't stay isolated. It seeps into your bloodstream, damaging the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them stiff, narrow, and unresponsive. Over time, this silent war leads to poor circulation, low energy, and that sluggish feeling so many men chalk up to just getting older.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Let me introduce you to Martin, a 64-year-old retired teacher from Texas. When Martin first came to see me, his biggest complaint wasn't what you might expect. It wasn't intimacy issues or morning stiffness. It was the afternoons. Doc, every day by 2 p.m., I feel like someone tied cement blocks to my legs, he told me. I'm drained, mentally and physically. I can't even keep up with my grandkids anymore. It's embarrassing. Martin's morning started like most men his age. Toast, maybe a cup of coffee, a quick fix before heading into the day. But by noon, his body was running on fumes. That's when I asked him a question that made him pause. Martin, when's the last time you fed your gut what it actually needs? He looked at me confused. That's when I explained. Greek yogurt is more than a trendy health food. It's a live culture powerhouse, packed with probiotics that calm gut inflammation and restore balance to your microbiome. When your gut is healthy, your body becomes far more efficient at processing nutrients, especially nitrates, those same compounds you get from spinach that convert into nitric oxide, the key to opening up your blood vessels. But Greek yogurt alone isn't the full picture. That's where berries come in. These vibrant little fruits, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, are loaded with anthocyanins, plant compounds that act like bodyguards for your nitric oxide. They protect it from being broken down too quickly, while the vitamin C in berries enhances nitric oxide's production and lifespan inside your body. The combination is powerful. While spinach fuels your nitric oxide levels, yogurt and berries ensure that fuel is absorbed, protected, and amplified. I told Martin to ditch his toast for 2 weeks. Every morning, he would have a bowl of plain Greek yogurt topped with a generous handful of fresh blueberries. It wasn't a drastic change, but it was precise. This wasn't about calorie counting or fad dieting. It was about feeding his gut so that his blood vessels could breathe again. 2 weeks later, Martin walked into my office with a smile I'll never forget. "Doc, I didn't need to sit down once when I was out with my grandkids this weekend," he said. I felt light, steady, like my legs were finally listening to me again. That's the power of starting your morning with intention. You're not just filling your stomach, you're signaling to your body how you want to feel that day. Greek yogurt and berries might seem simple, but inside your body, they're performing complex, life-giving work, calming inflammation, enhancing nutrient absorption, and paving the way for stronger, more consistent circulation. Men like Martin don't need more pills. They need to reclaim control over their body's own systems. And it all begins with understanding that your gut is not a passive bystander. It's an active player in your vascular health. Tomorrow morning, when you're standing in your kitchen deciding what to eat, I want you to remember this. What you put in your gut shapes the energy, strength, and confidence you carry through the rest of your day. Choose foods that work for you, not against you. And if you want more real strategies like this, practical, science-backed, and designed specifically for men like you, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Let's rebuild your circulation, one breakfast at a time. 2. Avocado, nature's medicine for circulation without side effects. Over the years, I've lost count of how many men have laughed when I suggested they add avocado to their breakfast. They usually roll their eyes and mutter something about overpriced guacamole. Frank, a 59-year-old retired engineer from California, was no exception. "Doc, I'm not turning into a California hipster," he chuckled as he waved off my advice. But Frank wasn't laughing later that afternoon when his legs felt like dead weights, or when his energy evaporated by midday, leaving him slumped in his chair, watching life pass him by. That's what brought him to my office. Afternoon crashes, low stamina, and a quiet frustration that simmered beneath his words. What Frank didn't realize, and what so many men overlook, is that circulation is not just about the heart pumping blood. It's about the flexibility of your arteries, the health of your vessel walls, and the delicate balance of nutrients that keep everything moving freely. Most men believe they need prescriptions to fix these issues. But the body often has a better answer if we listen. Avocado isn't just a trendy toast topping. It's a circulatory powerhouse, designed by nature to do what medications try to replicate. Packed with monounsaturated fats, avocados nourish the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, keeping them soft, elastic, and responsive. This isn't fluff. Scientific studies have shown that diets rich in these healthy fats can significantly improve flow-mediated dilation, the same critical measure of vascular health that many heart medications aim to support. But there's more. Avocados are loaded with potassium, a mineral that's essential for maintaining the delicate balance of sodium in your bloodstream. When potassium is low, your arteries tighten, constricting blood flow. But when potassium is abundant, those vessels relax, allowing blood to flow smoothly, reducing pressure, and enhancing circulation where it matters most. When Frank finally decided to listen, it wasn't because of a clinical study or some glossy health magazine. It was sheer frustration. He was tired of feeling like his energy switch got flipped off every afternoon. So, I asked him for one small commitment, half an avocado on his whole grain toast every morning, nothing fancy, no supplements, no drastic diets. 2 weeks later, Frank walked into my office a different man. He wasn't dragging his feet. He wasn't leaning on the doorframe. He stood tall and smiled. Doc, I hate to admit it, but that green stuff is working. He told me he was walking faster, climbing stairs without needing to stop, and for the first time in years, feeling genuinely alive by the end of his day. That's the beauty of giving your body what it craves. No pills, no side effects, just nutrients working in harmony with your natural nitric oxide pathways to restore the circulation that keeps you moving. You see, medications often force your body into a response. But avocado nourishes your vessels from the inside out, allowing your body to respond the way it was designed to. It's a gentle yet powerful catalyst, a daily ritual that can transform your energy, your stamina, and yes, your confidence. If you're skeptical, that's okay. Frank was too. But here's my challenge to you. Add half an avocado to your breakfast for 2 weeks. Watch how your body responds. Sometimes, the simplest changes create the most profound results. And if you want more practical strategies to reclaim your health, your circulation, and your vitality, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll keep peeling back the layers of misinformation and get you back to feeling like yourself again. 3. Dark chocolate, the morning antioxidant that switches your circulation back on. Over the years, I've given my fair share of surprising advice. But nothing gets a raised eyebrow faster than when I tell my patients to eat chocolate for breakfast. And yet, every time I've said it, I've meant it with full conviction. Not as a joke, not as a cheat meal, but as a prescription. Because for men over 60 struggling with sluggish circulation, dark chocolate isn't a dessert, it's medicine. Let me tell you about William, a 63-year-old former Navy officer from Florida. William was disciplined, structured, always the first to follow instructions to the letter. But when it came to his morning routine, no amount of structure could fix what he described to me in a single sentence. Doc, it feels like my circulation is stuck in first gear every morning. I just can't get going. He wasn't talking about his car.
He was talking about his body.
He explained how every day began with the same frustrating stiffness, a sense that his legs, his energy, and frankly, his confidence down there were slow to wake up, if they ever did at all. He had tried stretching, more coffee, even cold showers. But nothing seemed to flip the switch. That's when I offered him a prescription that made him pause. 2 squares of 70% or higher dark chocolate with his morning coffee. He looked at me like I had lost my mind. Chocolate? For my circulation? But what William and many others don't realize is that high flavanol dark chocolate is one of nature's most potent vascular allies. During sleep, your body's nitric oxide reserves diminish. By morning, your blood vessels are less responsive, tighter, and slower to expand. Dark chocolate, rich in powerful flavanols, helps rebuild those nitric oxide levels quickly and effectively. It doesn't just taste good. It acts directly on your endothelium, the inner lining of your arteries, helping them relax and open up to allow smooth, healthy blood flow. I could see the skepticism in William's eyes, but I've had this conversation too many times to be discouraged. I asked him for a 1-week experiment. Give me 7 days. 2 small squares of 70% dark chocolate with your coffee.
No gimmicks, no fanfare.
Just consistency. A week later, my office phone rang. It was William. Doc, I'm not sure what's in that chocolate, but it's working. He said he felt sharper in the mornings, his energy didn't lag, and he added with a chuckle that things down there aren't taking their sweet time anymore. You see, when people think about circulation, they often imagine the heart and big arteries. But what truly determines how you feel every day, your energy, your stamina, your confidence, are the microvascular networks that supply blood to your extremities, your muscles, and yes, to the areas that make you feel alive as a man. Dark chocolate works with those smaller vessels, increasing their responsiveness, improving oxygen delivery, and supporting nitric oxide's vital role in keeping them open and flexible. This isn't candy store chocolate. It has to be dark, 70% cacao or higher, minimally processed to retain the flavonols your body needs. Those are the compounds that drive this effect. The bittersweet taste? That's the flavor of medicinal-grade circulation support. For men like William, the solution isn't always in a pill bottle. Sometimes, it's in rethinking what you see as food and what you see as fuel. The right fuel can make the difference between dragging through your mornings and walking into your day with the vitality you thought you had lost. If you've been waking up feeling like your body's still asleep, if you notice that your energy takes hours to warm up, this is your sign. A few small squares of dark chocolate in the morning isn't an indulgence. It's a targeted act of self-care, one that can turn your circulation back on and set the tone for the entire day. Give your body what it needs to function the way it was designed to. I challenge you to try it for 7 days, just like William did. Watch how a simple, delicious ritual can change the way you feel, move, and perform. And if you're finding value in these no-nonsense, practical strategies, subscribe to this channel. I'm Dr. Olivia Hart, and I'm here to share the tools that actually work for men like you. Together, we'll build a path back to energy, confidence, and the life you deserve one morning at a time. For pomegranate, the royal circulation restorer that reawakens your vitality. There's a reason ancient kings revered the pomegranate. Long before modern science could explain why, they knew this ruby-red fruit was a symbol of stamina, strength, and virility. Today, we have the research to back up what they understood intuitively. Pomegranate is one of the most potent natural restorers of circulation ever discovered. I've seen it work wonders in men who thought their best days were behind them. One of them was Edward, a 68-year-old retired architect from New York. When Edward came to me, he didn't use words like circulation or nitric oxide. He simply said, "Doc, I feel like my body's gone cold. My hands, my feet, they're always freezing. And I'm tired. No matter how much I rest, I can't seem to recharge." That cold, drained feeling Edward described wasn't just in his head. It was a symptom of poor microcirculation, when blood struggles to reach the smaller vessels in your extremities and, more importantly, in the areas that define a man's confidence and quality of life. What Edward didn't know was that his daily breakfast routine was doing nothing to support the intricate network of blood vessels his body depends on. That's when I introduced him to pomegranate juice, not as a trendy superfood, but as a targeted strategy to restore his circulation from the inside out. Pomegranate isn't just rich in vitamins. It contains a unique combination of polyphenol, elagitannins, and anthocyanins, powerful plant compounds that activate multiple circulation-enhancing pathways in your body. They don't just temporarily widen blood vessels like some medications do. They protect nitric oxide from oxidative damage, stimulate its production, and improve the flexibility of your arteries, ensuring that blood flows freely and efficiently. I asked Edward to add just 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice to his morning routine. No complicated recipes, no drastic dietary overhauls. Just a simple glass each day. Within weeks, Edward began to notice changes. His hands and feet weren't icy anymore. His energy didn't fade after a short walk. He described a sense of warmth, a steady vitality that had been missing for years. But the real confirmation came from his doctor's lab tests. His vascular function had measurably improved. Blood flow markers that were once borderline had shifted into healthy ranges. Edward's story isn't unique. Pomegranate works deeply within the circulatory system, nourishing the very structures that keep blood moving where it's needed most. It supports not just the large arteries, but the delicate capillaries that often get overlooked, capillaries that, when neglected, lead to cold extremities, numbness, and that frustrating sense of fading vitality. Most importantly, pomegranate does this without forcing your body. It doesn't demand a pharmacological reaction. Instead, it offers the raw materials your body needs to heal itself, to restore the mechanisms that time and poor habits may have dulled. When I share this with patients, they often wonder why something so simple isn't common knowledge. The answer is complex, but the solution doesn't have to be. Nature has given us tools far more effective and far less invasive than many of the artificial fixes we're sold. If you've been battling cold hands, cold feet, or that invisible weight of constant fatigue, I want you to remember Edward's story. A small glass of pomegranate juice each morning might seem insignificant, but inside your body, it's fueling a network of systems designed to bring warmth, energy, and life back into your circulation. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about reclaiming control through small, intentional choices that build real, lasting change. If you're ready to take that first step, start tomorrow morning. 4 ounces of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice. Consistency is key. Your body is waiting for you to give it the chance to respond. And if these insights resonate with you, subscribe to this channel. I'm Dr. Olivia Hart, and I'm here to guide you back to vitality, not with hype, but with strategies rooted in nature and proven by experience. Together, we'll rebuild your energy, your strength, and the confidence you deserve, one morning at a time. 5. Spinach, your morning nitric oxide booster. Let me tell you something most doctors won't. Every morning, across kitchens in America, men over 60 are unknowingly sabotaging their own manhood. Not with cigarettes, not with alcohol, but with what they're pouring into their cereal bowls. It's not age that's robbing you of your vitality. It's not some unavoidable curse of getting older. The truth is far more unsettling. You see, for over 30 years, I sat across from men who once commanded boardrooms, built companies from scratch, served their country with pride. And yet, they'd come into my office, shoulders slumped, voices lowered, embarrassed to admit what they were battling in silence. Heavy legs stuck, like I'm dragging weights all day. That fire I used to have?
Gone.
And down there, it's like the lights are off. These weren't isolated cases. These were men who had been told by society that slowing down is normal, that fading intimacy is just part of aging. But every time I heard these confessions, I knew age was not the villain here. It was breakfast.
I'm Dr. Olivia Hart.
After decades of specializing in men's health, I've retired from the clinic, but not from my mission. What I'm about to share with you isn't some pharmaceutical pitch or a trendy superfood gimmick. It's the truth that no one is talking about. And it starts with something as simple as what's on your plate each morning. Let me introduce you to Robert, a 62-year-old retired firefighter from Ohio. Robert was a fighter, always had been. But by the time he sat across from me, he wasn't battling fires anymore. He was battling his own body. Every morning, he followed the same routine. Toast, cereal, a splash of milk. Quick, easy, done. Yet, with each passing week, Robert felt heavier. His legs ached. His energy vanished before noon. And there was a quiet frustration he didn't want to name, the kind that strikes a man's confidence when his body refuses to respond the way it used to. He blamed his age. Everyone does. But when I looked at Robert, I saw a man whose body was crying out for nitric oxide, a molecule so vital, yet so overlooked. Nitric oxide is the silent conductor of your circulatory system, responsible for telling your blood vessels when to expand and send blood to the areas that define your strength, stamina, and yes, your manhood. The problem is nitric oxide production plummets with age. And the standard American breakfast? It does absolutely nothing to replenish it. But there's a simple, powerful fix: spinach. Now, don't roll your eyes just yet. I'm not talking about becoming a rabbit munching on leaves all day. I'm talking about harnessing the potent nitrates hidden in spinach that your body can convert into nitric oxide naturally. When I asked Robert to replace his morning toast with a spinach smoothie, he looked at me like I had 2 heads. But he was willing to try. He had nothing to lose except that weight dragging him down. Within just 2 weeks, Robert's world shifted. His legs no longer felt like concrete pillars. His afternoons weren't battles against exhaustion. And though he didn't say it outright, I saw it in his grin. The spark of confidence was back. This wasn't magic. It was simple biology. Spinach directly supports what we call flow-mediated dilation, allowing your arteries to open up, breathe, and bring life back to areas that have been starved for far too long. Every bite of spinach is like flipping a switch, restoring the pathways that fuel your energy and awaken parts of you that you feared were fading. It's easy to overlook spinach. It's humble and unassuming. But for men over 60, it's a weapon, a natural, drug-free way to reclaim control over your circulation and vitality. Here's the truth that most doctors won't tell you. Prescription pills might force your body to respond, but they don't fix the root cause. They don't nourish your blood vessels. They don't rebuild the pathways that have slowly closed off over years of neglect. But spinach does. When you start your day with the right fuel, you're not just eating for energy. You're investing in the flow of life itself. You're giving your body permission to be strong again. The choice is yours. You can keep treating breakfast like an afterthought, or you can use it as a tool, a quiet, powerful act of taking back control. Now, if this message resonates with you, if you're tired of the silent struggle, I want you to do two things right now. First, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel isn't about hype or gimmicks. It's about giving you real, practical tools to reclaim your health, your confidence, and your vitality. Every video is crafted with the same care I used to give my patients. Second, tomorrow morning, swap that toast or cereal for a simple spinach smoothie. Your body will thank you. And trust me, you'll feel it where it counts. We're just getting started. In the next video, I'll show you how another humble breakfast staple, often overlooked, can amplify this effect, working with spinach to create a chain reaction that revitalizes your entire circulatory system.
Stay tuned.
You won't want to miss it. The power of synergy. When foods work together, your body heals faster and stronger. If there's one truth I wish every man over 60 could understand, it's this: your body doesn't respond to single, isolated solutions. It thrives on systems that work together. For decades, we've been trained to believe that health is about finding the one magic fix, one pill, one exercise, one superfood that will solve it all. But the human body is far more complex and far more intelligent than that. The real breakthroughs happen when the right elements are combined, creating a synergy that amplifies their power far beyond what any single food or supplement could achieve alone. I saw this firsthand with James, a 71-year-old retired military veteran from Colorado. James was the kind of man who had spent his life in control. He prided himself on his discipline, his strength, his reliability. But when his body began to slow, when his legs felt heavy, his energy dulled, and his confidence quietly eroded, it hit him harder than he expected. "Doc, I feel like I'm fading out of my own life," he told me, a rare crack in his otherwise steady voice. James had tried isolated fixes. He had a shelf of vitamins, had dabbled in this or that heart-healthy food. But nothing seemed to stick. That's when I explained to him the concept of synergy, the phenomenon where certain nutrients, when consumed together, don't just add up their benefits, they multiply them. I designed a morning routine for James that was deceptively simple, yet strategically powerful. He began each day with a spinach smoothie, blended with Greek yogurt and a handful of fresh berries. This wasn't random. The nitrates in spinach are essential for nitric oxide production, but their effectiveness depends on how well your body absorbs and processes them. That's where the probiotics in yogurt come in. They optimize your gut environment, making your body far more efficient at converting nitrates into nitric oxide. Meanwhile, the berries provide anthocyanins and vitamin C, compounds that shield nitric oxide from early breakdown and keep your blood vessels relaxed and responsive. Next, James added half an avocado to his whole grain toast. The healthy fats in avocado are not just good for your heart, they play a critical role in nutrient absorption. Many of the circulation-enhancing compounds found in plants, like the polyphenol in pomegranate, are fat-soluble, meaning without sufficient healthy fats in your diet, your body struggles to utilize them. By adding avocado, James was essentially priming his body to absorb and amplify the benefits of what came next. With his morning coffee, James had 2 small squares of dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher. The flavonols in dark chocolate work directly on the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, enhancing their ability to dilate and contract. But here's the kicker. Vitamin C from the berries enhances flavonol absorption and extends their activity in the bloodstream. These compounds, working together, create a cascade of vascular support, ensuring that nitric oxide isn't just produced, it's protected and used effectively. Finally, James completed his breakfast with a small glass of pure pomegranate juice. The polyphenol in pomegranate, especially elagitannins, are potent protectors of nitric oxide, safeguarding it from oxidative stress while simultaneously encouraging your body to produce more. But without the fats from the avocado, these compounds wouldn't reach their full potential. The combination of these foods formed a loop of reinforcement, each ingredient enhancing the efficacy of the next. Within just 10 days, James noticed the shift. His legs, once heavy and slow, felt light and responsive. His energy didn't taper off mid-afternoon. He told me his mind felt clearer, sharper, and there was a quiet confidence in his tone that hadn't been there during our first meeting. "Doc, I feel like I've hit a reset button," he said. That's the power of food synergy. It's not a gimmick. It's not about superfoods or trends. It's about understanding how your body absorbs, converts, and utilizes nutrients, and then aligning your habits to support those natural processes. When you give your body the right combinations, you unlock healing mechanisms that have been dormant, waiting for the right signal. This is why isolated fixes often fail. A single food, no matter how healthy, can only do so much if the supporting systems in your body aren't engaged. But when you combine foods strategically, when you feed your body with intention, the results are exponentially greater. So, if you're someone who's tried a handful of health tricks and felt disappointed, I want you to shift your mindset. It's not about one food saving the day. It's about creating a symphony of nutrients that play in harmony, amplifying each other's strengths. Start simple. Build a breakfast that isn't just fuel, but a foundation. Combine these 5 foods in your morning routine and give your body the tools it needs to heal itself, not by force, but by design. And if this approach resonates with you, if you're tired of quick fixes and ready for real, sustainable change, subscribe to this channel. I'm Dr. Olivia Hart, and my mission is to share the strategies that actually work because your age doesn't define your vitality. Your choices do. Gentlemen, I've spent decades watching men gather knowledge, collect advice, and read every article under the sun, only to do nothing with it. Let me be blunt with you. Knowledge without action is useless. Every morning you hesitate, every day you tell yourself I'll start tomorrow, is another day of stiffness settling into your legs, another afternoon of fighting off fatigue, another night wondering where your energy and your confidence has gone. But here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You don't need to turn your kitchen into a science lab or follow some complicated, unsustainable diet plan. What you need is a decision. A small one. Tomorrow morning, I want you to pick just one food that speaks to you. Maybe it's a spinach smoothie to get that nitric oxide production flowing. Maybe it's a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries, calming inflammation and setting your circulation up for success. Or perhaps it's as simple as half an avocado spread on whole grain toast, quietly working in your favor before you even leave the house. These micro-commitments are powerful. Small steps build momentum. Progress, not perfection, is what transforms lives. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be better than yesterday. That's how real change happens, not with leaps, but with small, deliberate steps in the right direction. If this message speaks to you, I want you to take action right now. Drop a comment below and type "I'm ready." Let this be your moment of commitment, your declaration that you're done standing on the sidelines of your own health. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button. This channel, Harmonic Health, isn't about fluff or gimmicks. It's about giving you clear, honest, no-nonsense insights into your health as a man. You won't find shortcuts here, but you'll find strategies that work if you're willing to act. You're not too old. You're not past the point of change. Neglect is the only enemy you're fighting. Your body wants to support you. It wants to respond, but it needs you to give it the right tools, the right fuel to do its job. Now I want you to pause and think ahead 6 months from today. Picture yourself in the mirror. Will you be looking back with regret, wishing you had started when you first heard this message? Or will you be standing taller, feeling lighter, living proof that small, consistent choices can reclaim your strength, your energy, and your confidence? The clock doesn't wait. But here's the part most men forget. You have far more power than you think. You're not at the mercy of your age. You're not doomed to accept decline. You hold the pen to write the next chapter of your health story. And it starts with one breakfast, one small choice, one decision to move forward. Gentlemen, you're stronger than you believe. Let's use that strength, not tomorrow, not next week, but starting now.